As discussed in earlier classes, understanding the syllabus of UPSC Civil Services exam is in itself a big step towards success in this exam. In addition, determining and sticking to a reliable and adequate study material improves the chances of success further. In our series of lectures on how to prepare economy for civil services exam, we today present you with third and the last lecture. Mind you that another couple of videos will be posted at later stage dedicated wholly to the mains examination. In today's lecture, we will be deciphering the syllabus from the UPSC PT question paper from 2015. We have already discussed in earlier classes that since the prescribed UPSC syllabus is in brief and indicative only, and we need to interpret the real syllabus based on past year papers. At the end of this lecture, I will provide you with the real syllabus for this exam and will also be listing out the study sources. This list could have been given to you at the outset, but the biggest problem for candidates preparing for this exam is a mistrust of their study material and an insatiable thirst for more and more study material. This is not only a costly mistake in terms of money, but also adversely affects the chances for success, because more and more material means less command over it due to inadequate revision. Therefore, we have clearly proved in front of you by giving URL links regarding the sources from which questions are asked, and then only have prescribed these sources as the reliable sources. Now we quickly move on to the analysis of questions of PT 2015. The first question relates to Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, and information regarding it was published by PIB on 28th August 2014, and the PT examination date was 23rd August 2015. That is, the PIB published regarding Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana just about 1 year before the date of examination. The second question relates to the 14th Finance Commission, and information regarding it was published by PIB on 24th February 2015, which is around 5 months before the date of examination, and it relates to the topic of public finance. The next question relates to decrease in tax to GDP ratio, which was very much in news because it was covered in the economic survey of 2014-15. But apart from that, a basic understanding of economic growth and national income concept is required to answer this question correctly. So we can say that the topic was in news, say in March 2015, which was around 4 months before the date of examination, and it relates to the topic of growth and development, which is given. Sustainable development is mentioned in the prescribed syllabus. From that we can interpret that growth as well as developmental concepts are important topics for UPSC. Similarly, the next question is related to the index of 8 core industries, and information regarding it was published in PIB dated 2nd February 2015, as well as Hindu also covered it. So basically it was in news around 6 months, 5 to 6 months before the date of examination, and it relates to the industry and infrastructure topic. And this question relating to the 8 core industries is very much factual in nature, while the tax to GDP ratio question was quite conceptual. The next question relates to the fair and remunerative prices of sugarcane, and PIB published article regarding this on 16th January 2015, which is just about 5 to 6 months before the date of examination, and it relates to the agronomic topic, and it is very much factual in nature. The next question relates to the Global Economic Prospect Report. It is very much factual in nature, and it was published by Hindu, dated 14 January 2015, and it had mentioned some good things about India. Therefore, it has obviously become very important, and it relates to the topic of external sector, which we have seen that over the years has been one of the favorite topics. Now we move on to the next question. It relates to the statutory liquidity ratio, and it is one of the basic concepts of banking and finance. And Hindu covered one article regarding the reduction of SLR by RBI on 3rd February 2015, which is around 5.5 months before the date of examination. The next question relates to the agricultural products regulation in India, and Business Standard covered it on 28th May 2015. Moreover, it relates to the agronomic topic, and we can say that this topic was very much in news around 3 months before the date of examination. The question regarding the agricultural products market is factual in nature, while question on SLR is very much conceptual. The next question relates to the consumer price index number for industrial workers. These things are very much in news, and Hindu covered it on 1st May 2015, and the topic relates to the industry and infrastructure topic. The only important thing here was that while reading these articles, generally candidates don't give much heed to these minute things, like they are concentrating more on consumer price index, but they forget to focus on the organizations or the bodies which are releasing them. It is very much a factual question. The second question relates to agreement on agriculture and agreement on the application of sanitary and phytosanitary measures. It is very much in news, always in news. In fact, it is related to WTO, and the Hindu covered it on 4th September 2015, that is around 11 months before the date of examination, and it relates to the external sector of India topic. The next question relates to the convertibility of rupee, and we can see that in 2015 a lot of questions are asked from the banking and finance sector, and all these questions are quite conceptual in nature, but it was also in news. Apart from some basic book which will clarify the doubts regarding these concepts, we should also refer to the newspapers which cover these things, and it helps us to understand various different points of views relating to any topic. Like here, convertibility of rupee was covered by the Hindu on 26th April 2015, which is around 4 months before the date of examination. The next question relates to steel production industry in India, and it is related to the industry topic, and the Hindu covered this topic on 9th September 2014. So it was very much in news around a year before the date of examination. The next question relates to the Accelerated Irrigation Benefits Program and Command Area Development Program. These are quite old programs, and any basic book of economic covers it, and it relates to the topic of agronomy. And recently it was in news because PIB published information regarding it on 31st July 2014, which is just around a year and a month before the date of examination. The next question relates to Basel III Accord, and Hindu covered it in an article dated 2nd September 2014, as Basel III capital norms were revised at that time. It is a basic concept of banking, and it is in news always. The next question relates to the growth of real gross domestic product and gross domestic product. So basically this question is related to the basic issue of development, and this question was asked because GDP was quite in news during 2014-15 as a new methodology of calculation of GDP was introduced by the government, and economic survey data was good enough to answer this question. The economic survey, we can say, covered this topic. So economic survey was published around March 2015, and the question was asked in the PT examination on 23rd August. So it was in news around 5 months before the date of examination. The next question relates to the components of monetary policy. It is a very basic concept of banking, and Hindu covered it in its article on 7th April 2014. Thus it was in news just around 4 months before the date of examination. The next question relates to the topic of inflation, and an article regarding this was published in the Hindu on 18th April 2014, and it is a basic concept. Inflation is a basic economic concept also. So we can say that it is a basic economic concept as well as it was in news just around 1 year and 4 months before the date of examination. And the next question is relating to the substitution of steel for wooden plows in agricultural production. It is a basic economic concept and quite conceptual in nature. Both these questions are quite conceptual in nature. Now we look at the last two questions of the PT examination 2015. First question, the problem of international liquidity is related to. This is again a basic concept of external sector, and the second question is related to the deficit budget year after year. A question regarding this was also asked in year 2016, and thus we can say that it is a basic concept of government budgeting, and generally it is in news during the time the budget is prepared and the budget is announced by the government. Now, after the analysis of the previous 3 years PT examination papers, we have reached to a stage where we can say that we have identified the most important topics or the general topics from which the questions are asked every year, and we have listed those topics here. First is the basic economic concepts. Second is regarding the evolution of Indian economy. Questions are asked regarding what was the status of one sector in 1950 or before the liberalization of economy, and after that such kind of questions are asked. Then problems of Indian economy is an important topic, like question on unemployment, inflation, poverty are asked here. Then the Indian agriculture is an important topic both for mains as well as PT, and therefore we have already termed it as agronomy. Next important topic is Indian industry and infrastructure. Questions are asked regarding them also. Then the service sector of the economy. The next very important topic is public finance and tax structure. Generally 2-3 questions are asked every year in PT examination from this topic. And the next topic is banking and finance. Again, we can say that it is one of the most favorite topic of UPSC question paper setter. Then question on external sectors are also asked, and some miscellaneous current topics questions are also asked. All in all, if we look at the current questions, they are generally asked from the date of examination to 2 years back. The period of current affairs is around 24 months before the date of examination. That is the outer limit. Rarely questions are asked which go beyond 2 years. They are generally within those 2 years bracket only. And regarding the conceptual and factual debate, on the analysis of all these questions of previous 3 years, we come to the conclusion that generally both kinds of questions, that is conceptual as well as factual questions, are asked, but in PT examination it is more tending towards the factual questions. Generally, a candidate's concentration level while studying is checked in PT examination because he has to look for minute details while reading the articles or reading the concepts in the basic books. After deciphering the syllabus, we should concentrate on those study materials which cover those topics of the syllabus. Here we have presented you a comprehensive list of study sources from which almost all the economic questions of PT examination can be answered. First, you have to refer to any standard book on Indian economy, any graduation book or any competitive examination book which covers all the topics which we have listed earlier. Moreover, the NCERT economic books of class 9, 10, 11 and 12 are very important for development of concept. After that, economic survey and union budget. I would say that not only the economic survey and union budget of that year, but 1 year before the date of examination should also be studied. And the next important source is the Hindu and the Business Standard newspaper. And one can also study India Yearbook, which is published every year, although 90-95% of the topics are same every year, year and year, and only 5% updation is there. Apart from that, a candidate has to refer to Press Information Bureau articles as well as Ministry of Finance announcements and Ministry of Agriculture website. But if you ask me if a candidate has to focus on one source, I would say the Hindu along with the Google. All those topics which are appearing in the economics section of the Hindu newspaper, if studied for 2 years and proper Google work is done, that is, if any term comes in the newspaper, a candidate takes pain to go to the Google and search on it and develop a basic understanding or holistic understanding about that term, he is or he will be in a very good position to answer almost all the questions in the PT examination. But there are some concepts which are explained very nicely in NCERT economy books also. So I would suggest that NCERT books should also be referred to. Moreover, the latest programs and the schemes of the government as well as the government point of view is generally given in the economic survey and union budget also. Moreover, as we have already seen, almost all the topics which is covered by the Hindu or the government schemes or the basic concepts are repeatedly coming in news through the articles of Press Information Bureau. So if you want me to give a ranking, I would say the Hindu and the Wikipedia as number 1 source, the Press Information Bureau as the number 2 source, NCERT as 3rd source, Economic Survey and Union Budget as the number 4 source, any standard book as number 5,